Up the center of the log home half log. We've got it mounted up on 2x4s, and we're going to match up as much as we can the taper of the log with the other log there. See, there's two half logs. There's a half log over here and a half log over here. We'll line them up to see if we can get pretty much so that there won't be any difference between the end of this half log and the end of the half log there on either side of the door. Now we're going to space, overhang the wall here with the amount of meat we need for log end there and at the far end here. How much meat you got hanging over?
24 inches here.
Is that what you're going to have on both ends?
Yeah.
Okay. Now how does the height of the logs look in the center?
This is going to be 1.5 inches higher than this one. 1.5 inches.
Okay, now if you cut out
Let me do this.
a foot under the door size,
Inch and a quarter higher.
yeah. Okay. Okay, let's go see how to do that. Okay, we've got the small end down here. Going up to the big end. Then we got the small end of this other half log here. And the big end out there. So you're going to be running the taper.
Running into things. We're going to have to cut off with about a foot or so. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean later on we're going to have to trim them all even so we're not ducking.
We're just getting it.
No, it's going to be shorter than the end wall.
What he's doing is finding out where to center the log on the floor. There's the center of the support beam down there, and he's just measuring and putting the marks out half the radius of the log out, putting marks so he can line up his log over the support beam. He did that on the outer end, at both ends too. And then you just put your insulation down there, and then place the half log over the top of the insulation. Now there's going to be a difference in the height of the logs, like we said, but if the log's this massive, by the time we V-notch and scribe that first log and the next log that goes across here is going to be a full log, and we won't even hardly notice this difference here. And by the time, especially by the time we get the door cut out, put a little wood knife on all the breaks. Just snap on a chalk line just so he can line up his insulation to it. Just little tricks you can do. You don't have to, but it makes it a lot easier. You don't have any doubts in your mind about getting them out of line. Now what we'll do is bring both these in line, flop them down on top of the insulation, line them up with the snap chalk line, and they'll be in line. We got a little curve to these. They aren't going to be all that bad. You know, and like I say, the V-notch scribing methods we use will cover that. And they'll melt right into each other. This is probably something you don't want to do, mess with insulation. You're going to be itchy tonight there, Nick.
Chase you around with this.
They just slide them on over. They've got 2x4s on top of there, but what they're going to do is get the log over the top of the insulation and drop it down, and then we'll be able to shift them into line. And any error we see with the bow of this log, that kind of work there I don't really care to do. Break your back. I just rather use levers any day.
We have that ice, gravel?
I'm going to be using levers. This little work like this you don't want to be doing by hand. It's too hard on the back, and eventually you're going to stress and do too much and hurt your back. But anyway, once these are in line, then we'll have a curve. You'll notice these logs are curved. So we'll half it. We'll half it. And you won't really notice it. You'll be able to, well, by the time you V-notch the next log down over, the massiveness of the logs will hide any of that curve and so forth. The next big log that goes over. They're doing some more bull work. I don't think you need to do. Little lever on the floor and just keep levering it over and you'd be over there. But if that's what they choose to do, I'll let them.
Yeah, get him the long end.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and do the same thing the other end.
You hadn't already made a living when you do this for a living?
Logs like this, they always look worse than they are because you're magnifying, like say, that log is 20 feet long, but if you're looking at an angle like we're looking at it, you're only looking at, say, 5 feet in perspective. So all that curve is multiplying in your sight here, and it looks worse than it is. It's not really that crooked. If you're at the side and your log's on it, you won't notice it that much.
We're way off our line here.
Okay, what we're doing is halving up the error. We're halving the error up along these edges so that any real bad inconsistencies are kind of hidden. And when we describe the V-notch, what it's going to do is it's going to hide that. And then by the time we get to the next log above that, it'll be hidden still more and you won't even see it. And you'll see that when we videotape that. So just kind of offset them so they're in line as good as can possibly be. There. There. Got there and there. We got to kick over that way just a little bit.
Hey, Ben. Well, yeah, I can
But
see
see, you can't really see the curve once you're off to the side, just a little bit from the log. See, there's no curve that is noticeable. So when you're standing in the room and you're looking at the wall, you won't see these curves that you see when you're looking end on the log. See, that multiplies as you get straight on like this.
Everybody who sees your
is.
movie's going to know we have curves in our house now.
Right. But that's also show you that it's going to turn out beautiful when it's done.
Yeah.
Then you get over here, you see, all of a sudden everything's in line. So don't get too excited about little things like this. It's just a matter you're dealing with that long distance and stuff. And we'll watch it work with the V-notch and the scribing methods.
Saturday afternoon.
You know, because it stays cool.
Oh, yeah.
But even open at night, it'll cool off and have those ceiling fans.
Next thing is to bolt them down.
Keep this breeze going.
Putting in a short stub wall there. You can outline the mantle of a gas fireplace. This is the first pull round down. I'll go up on the hill and explain it a little better. Okay, what Nick is going to do is put a stub wall, like a Lincoln log wall, right here and here to give a nice relief effect around the stove. First round here, we've got half logs here, here, and here. We've put the big end of the log over the small end here, the small end of the half log, and the big end over it. Over here, we got the big end of the half log, and we got the small end of this front wall log over the top of it. And you can see we have very little meat there. But that'll take care of itself. We probably should have used a smaller half log to accommodate these faster tapers on these larger trees. There's a lot of taper on these upper trees here, and just a little shortage of meat down there, but we're making them work. Over there we can see we got plenty of meat. Now, if you pay attention to what I'm saying, the next logs we put up now, on this end here, we have the most meat right there. So we have to have the biggest log down at this end with the big butt. This small end is here on this half log. So the next log that goes this way, the big end is going to have to be over here, and it'll go over the top of that butt of this big log here. Then on the center, we're going to use our medium-sized diameter log to accommodate the medium-sized amount of meat is right there. There's a medium amount of meat there, a medium amount of meat right there. So we used to, of the 3 logs, the medium-sized one will go here in the center. On the far end, we're going to have to get a big enough log to tie this, but it will be the smallest log of the 3. And it will go across here. And I like my pointer. Pretty neat, huh? All natural. And the smaller log will go down here. So, the next log goes down here. It's going to be the small end this way. This log will have the big end this way. And this log here will have the big end this way. They're not having too much difficulty. They ended up with a little shortage of meat on the ends of the log here where it laps over, and there where it laps over. But I showed them how to accommodate for that. And we'll go into a little deeper later when I can talk a little better. How it looks from up here. Looking real good with that first round. And this log was a little short, and I hope to get a little more meat over that end by cutting the door opening earlier and sliding that piece of log here that way, 3 feet. It didn't help that much, but it helped a little. Nick. Is that notching fun, Nick? Is that notching fun?
Oh, hell.
A lot of fun, ain't it?
15 more minutes.
Now we're having a barbecue. Having a barbecue of chicken breasts. Tammy and Brian over there doing that. Terry taking pictures. Yeah, this is the first time the Nick's done any notching. All he's done is watching my movies and learn from them. It's pretty good sized logs. See that log there? It's over nice. Still got to flatten the floor. They didn't have much trouble rigging them up here. Meat right here at this corner. You gotta be careful. You shift your log whichever way in order to get the thickest part of the log over the top here so that you don't end up having a shortage of meat like this. We can make that work by taking down the crown of this log a little bit and also taking out the lower part of the notch a little bit. And we can make it work real well. You see, even if we put our next log over the top like this, what's going to happen is we're going to have a lot of meat on this next log, which will secure this corner. It'll be notched over the next log coming this way. So it'll make a nice strong hold even though this is a weaker portion here. We won't worry about it. Same thing over there. Let's see how they put those bolts. Oh, he already pasted in where the bolts secure them down. See that they lined up the log overhanging the wall a little bit so that any moisture that blows in will drip off and drip off before it can capulate underneath the log. And the logs sit pretty straight down the foundation wall. Don't look bad at all. They did a real good job of lining these up, rolling them until they got the curve proper and got the best use out of their log. They did real well. They did that without me here, and they had a few problems where they scratched their head, but they worked their way through them. You know, I couldn't explain everything on the movie, but they seemed to figure it out real well on their own. They worked their way through their problems. Just by paying attention to the movies like they do and keep going back over them, they find out what they need to know. Got it pretty well lined up here too. See, it's a pretty straight log. It's pretty. They rolled it in position and did real well putting it to where it belongs. And I got a gap under here, and I told them to go ahead and scribe the 1 inch all the way down first. And even if they have to pass over this area, we'll go ahead and fit our notches down, take off the 1 inch on every area, and see how this presses down against the floor then. And then maybe all we'll have to do is dust that area with a chainsaw to get a nice little flat. I think with the weight of these logs, we're going to be able to do that real well. You can accommodate just about any change you want here to make it work. Right here, how does that look? Somebody that's never did it before and I wasn't here to instruct them, they just watched the movie. This is their notch. Those notches over there are good too. One thing is they just got to take out some of the pinch tires and get them down a little tighter. But you can see they follow the log real well. Those logs sit down real tight. In that corner over there, you can see there isn't much meat, but they're going to be able to make that work real well. They'll do the same thing over there. Scribe it, flatten the bottom, put it down. They'll have to do this piece here a little separate, and they've got it blocked up a little bit. But you can see they did pretty well on the notches. Without that wedge in there, that'd be real good. They made them some nice little wedges to hold those logs in place when they roll them up. See the wedge in there? They did real good on them notches. So, real well. Fine job.
Doing here is a modified V-nut. We're flattening the bottom of our first log. It sits over the half log. See how it'll roll back into place and have a flat bottom. There's the boss. Faster method than cutting a curve across those lines and shaping it out with a foot adze or something like that. Gerald explained all the details in class. It's a matter of getting the bottom of the log semi-flat. It's a real light V-notch so it doesn't drag on the outside edge of it sit down. Just scribed a line along and off the deck. I think we went an inch, inch and an eighth up off the deck. We spread the line along the log as it set in the notch. Roll it up over and then ran down each line that we had scribed. A little bit of an angle so there's some clearance in the center and roll it back over to that 6 line. Put a slab on just to roll out of there.
The only thing we haven't done yet is where we had the PV holding it, we haven't got it on that side yet.
All right.
So,
Look out!
Pull it over on us.
At any rate, that's how it's done.
You get your hose.
Anyway, we'll check out. We'll check out and come back.
Roll it back up, and we'll kick the other piece loose and
Turn this son of a gun off.
do it. Okay, what we've got is we got the flat on the underside of the front log and the back log, and the notch is dressed up. We're wood liping now and getting ready to put insulation underneath. Then we'll have a nice flat fit for the floor. We've already test fit it once, and they got a notch that looks a little cruddy, but it'll work out real well. We got a flat all the way down, and it fits within an 1/8 inch of the floor. So once you get the insulation in there, she'll fit down real nice. Painter foreman. Dressing up all. Now we trimmed all them knots that were close to the floor that would be hard to clean up later. We've dressed them up halfway now so they look halfway decent and easy to clean. So I rough notched it down first, then scribed it to 1 inch, and then I cleaned up the 1 inch flat on the bottom, and cleaned up the notches, and we're ready for it. Next over doing the back side. And these blogs didn't bow too much when they first put them down to scribe for the first notching. They seem to be coming out real good. You should see the other side, Nick. It's going to come out real well.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm going to roll this one. You won't film it.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I shouldn't.
You're just going to kick her over now and...
Yeah. It should be just about ready, you know. Roll over and... Let me sweep it real quick now.
Okay.
And the fits will...
You look like you're getting to do pretty good on them old notches. This is how many for you, but this is about your 8th notch, huh?
Yeah, probably.
That's pretty good for a guy who's never done it before, right, Nick?
Yeah, hell, it's beautiful.
Yeah. You wouldn't have thought you could do that a couple weeks ago, huh?
The notching isn't hard, it's the scribing.
Yeah.
I mean, getting the line isn't, you know, too bad. It's hard with my back's tired. But the scribing, if you don't do it right, you're screwed.
And all you have to do is weasel it around into position, huh?
Yeah. I don't know what position is it. There.
You have to get her more in this way, I think, is why you're rocking on a knot there, I think.
Oh, you are? 1200? I mean, that's this floor here.
Not bad.
Still.
Not bad for a kid that's just started. Kid, huh?
Yeah. Thanks.
College grad.
Well, I've been called, she didn't call me a butthead. No, I think,
Getting ready to roll down the log. We're going to take the tractor to keep it from rolling on, bumping off the wall.
So we're going to push it this way a little bit?
Yeah, bring it this way, but be careful it don't roll over on you.
yeah, we're
What
going
we
to flip
ended up with is we didn't have a whole heck of a lot of meat left on this notch. So rather than weaken the log anymore, we cut down into the log here so that we could get close to the floor and get a tighter fit to the floor. Because we didn't want to take another 1/2 inch out of there, out of that notch, because we didn't want to weaken that log anymore. It'll set down in there, and it'll be just a little bit above that lower log. But when we V-notch the next top log along here, over the top, it will give more strength to this thinner log here. When you first start out a log home like this, sometimes you'll end up with this. The way I could have avoided this was picked a smaller 1/2 log. We picked too big a 1/2 log, but we can make it work, and the saddle notches above and V-notches and larger logs above with more meat are going to hold everything in place just fine, and the strength will be there from the other logs up above. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like when it's down. On some more wood light.
You know how they come in those
These are the other notches.
one bad end, they don't hold
And what we did is semi V-notch this
Here, I don't buy all that
seal
stuff.
area where it's going to seal down to the
Yeah.
floor.
You think you can.
You gave me 2 cases of bananas right before I left, and they're
There's a,
89 cents
That
over there, you know.
effect wall that's going to be on either side of the gas fireplace here. And they flattened it to the floor. And it looks a lot better than my counter did in my log home because I didn't flatten it. I told Nick to go ahead and flatten that bottom so it gets a nice cleaner look to the floor than the full round of the bottom. But see, there'll be another one right there. So this will be a real pretty wall effect with those big round logs like that. And they're fitting down this other corner log here. They had to fit it individually. Now something we're gonna have to watch for when we put the next log down here is hopefully we'll get a full log that'll go all the way across, because what happens is the ends of these logs that are away from the one that it's notched over is they'll sink down and they'll all look like they slope downwards to the center of the door. So we'll be wanting to watch that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna rehook up here.
This cable comes right on across
Down the hill further.
into the tree.
Hook up the iron a little bit.
Snatch block there. Down the tree. Snatch block there. Out to the truck. The truck to the bottom of the tree, up the tree, down to the end of the log. Put some skids up there over there. Pole skids. Beam skids rather. So that the log will pick up onto the wall. It's an awful big log. There have been about 46 footers here to get them on the wall.
Better grab it back further. Afraid this butt end's not down that way far enough. Which we can do that later too. Well, let's get fingers down the hole. We can pull that. Yeah, slide it up.
You got the one big log on the left-hand end here. Going for the center log now.
Oh. Yeah. That's good.
Okay, Nick, go ahead, little. Go ahead, little Nick. Oh! Okay, Nick, go ahead, Nick.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Hey, Jerry.
yeah,
Butt's hanging way too much. All we need.
yeah. We're gonna pull it back over with the tractor over here. We'll get her in line first. We'll just put the tractor on this end to swivel it. Truck is hooked up to the tree, up to the snatch block, down to that end.
Go ahead and pull.
Go ahead, Nick.
They went.
He's pulling the far end, and Butch is holding this end. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Whoa! Okay, now with the tractor, we'll pull this end this way. Yeah, just leave her holding there, Nick. Come and help him get the cable reset on this end. And then we'll just pull this end over this way till the butt is close to that wall there. 2 feet overhanging on the far end, approximately. That worked out pretty slick, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just got to drag it out that way.
Yeah.
A question here. Is that one going to stay right there?
What we just put there?
Yeah.
Stay there?
Go right in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was thinking if you know, their next one has to.
Yeah.
Left rollers in place.
Right. No, that's where it goes. The next one goes out on the end. Now you just got to drag it that way.
She's at the truck.
Really easy now.
Put the snatch buckle over there. There's the snatch block. And down to the log. Just catch on the end of that log there. One of those long poles I brought you down maybe, and just stand back away. You should just have to give it a little bump and it should go.
Did I ever show you my hula?
Okay, go ahead. I'm ready.
I take my clothes off to do it though.
All right, I'm waiting.
You're the wrong guy to say that. I don't know, I'm a long way there yet.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Whoa! Oh, long one. Okay. We're gonna have to take another set there. Won't go? Gonna pick it up a little bit. Hang on the end of this lower log. Okay. I think I'd go further yet. That's good. Whoa! Okay, now he can take the tractor and push that end around.
Hang on.
Just have her back off now and have him put the tractor and push that end over. There you go, watch it. These heavy logs that break them beams, huh? Okay, we got this end on here. Now I gotta take the tractor, push the other end, get it on. All right, here he goes. Whoop! Let's roll off. Now, we're just gonna pick it up and move it around. Have him take it down have him take it down as far as he can.
Okay. Stay there though.
This cable goes on up.
Truck and
See?
well,
Two snatch block. Down. The line goes to the truck.
okay, you're doing good. Sure. You see me?
Tractor's holding this end. The tractor's
Nice.
holding this end here, so it can't spin. You pivot and right at the tractor. And we almost got her up on there.
Back her into here and hook there. That would pull it. You just have her back up and let her slide this.
Back up a little more.
Yeah, back right alongside.
They're starting to figure it out. The nice thing about it is you can learn a lot of lessons here low to the ground before you get up to where it's really critical. And start getting your rigging set up a little bit better. That's what we're doing. Haven't got everything the way we want it yet, but we'll get it there.
Want me to bring the
I
tractor?
would have her.
Now we're just going to try to yard it that direction, a couple feet.
Bring her hard.
There you go. I don't know if I might end up pulling this sucker.
Just tell her to go super slow. That way we can recorrect if we have to. We can stop and correct.
I'm back a little too far.
I don't know about that. You might be better off back further.
You think?
Yeah, because that way the heavy end like that'll tend to try to stay there. And it'll start pivoting at the bucket if it does anything.
Let's try it.
Yeah, it might. Yeah. Yeah, we have to keep trying there.
Real gently.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch you, so.
Yeah, I'll be right here.
I mean, you tell me.
Look towards that.
Watching your hand. That stop.
Yeah. It's good. Doing good. Okay, real easy. Gently.
Okay, now she's going to start going that way.
Gently. Keep going. Doing good.
She's pivoting on the tractor bucket right now. Get all the footage out there you need now so we ain't going to have to move it again.
You can go further, I think, Nick.
I just want to pop off this end.
Rem
I'd like to grab it back further.
I think
I think you gotta come
I think she's already started moving it that way now. I think it'll keep going.
Gently. Real gently.
Yeah, see?
Okay, keep going.
Hey,
Whoa, whoa!
huh, too far.
Yeah.
All the time, keep up on.
What? All right. Felling the saws, yeah.
All these little jobs take the time out. Keep your chainsaw sharp, sharpen your axes, your peeling spuds, or whatever. And it'll make your work a heck of a lot easier. If you try to fight a dull saw, it makes your work a lot harder. Let's go up and see Nick's scribing job. Scribe on the movie.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Hard to stand up's different. It's not top, it's always safe.
Now we notice there's a gap in between the two logs there. We don't worry about that. We just set the scribe to the full dimension. Right there, between the two logs.
I tell you, these wide settings, it's a lot tougher.
Yeah, sure would be nice. You've been doing well without them levels though, haven't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, those levels.
Because you did those first notches. Look at that one down there you did. He did all these notches. All he's done is watch the movies and learned how. The reason that's got a gap there is because this little log here that we put in the wall is a little bit thicker, has more meat than your end log. And we've rolled this log into position. We'll take a look at it from the end on. This don't have much meat out. There's a scribe mark down there. By the time we get done taking that out, putting the V-notch in the log, we'll have a lot of support down here. The first couple rounds like this, you're going to have real oddball differences in the amount of meat you take out. It had a bit of curve to it. It had more curve than that, but we let it relax back and put some of the curve down towards where the V-notch is going. And we generally placed it close to over the top of the other log, kind of half the air on both ends. Once we get this main notch cut in there, then we'll shift the log more into position where we want it, because the notches will be holding it roughly so we can line it up a little better. But right now it's close enough to get the first rough notch in. And we did quite a bit here today. Put up these 3 interior walls, the short wall logs. And learn by experience how much weight there is in these logs and what it takes to move them. Those are things we learn as we go along. That log down there is pretty much in position where it's going to be when we notch it. And you'll see after it's notched down how much better they'll look. They look real gross now, but they'll start taking on a new character here pretty quick. As soon as we get rid of these major inconsistencies with these first logs. You'd be amazed how well they turn out. So will Nick.
Hey, Jerry.
This was all done. All this log work has been done in the last 3 days, right?
Yeah. Except for the half logs we set last weekend.
Oh, that's right. Last weekend we set the half logs.
Well, actually, we just set them up here. We bolted them and whatnot this weekend too. So yeah.
Moving right along. You'll probably be moved in it before the end of the summer.
I don't know, man. They're heavy.
Huh?
Pitch doesn't like my,
Pencil mark?
yeah.
Have to keep sharpening it all the time, huh? You made to hold the log in position. It's just a piece of rebar bent with a couple of points sharpened on it. Helps hold the log in position. It's one way to hold a log in position. You have one at the other end, and when you roll them up, if there's a bowl in the log, they'll tend to want to swing around and come back down. So if you have log dogs in, it holds them in place. I'll show you another way that we're holding the log too. This log are keeping it in position. We got the bucket here in case it rolls off the wall. Or tries to, and then we have that PV stuck in there. See the way the PV is stuck into the log, because we know it's got a curve in it and it's trying to roll back down, and we just brace the handle of the log right against the foundation there.
3 ways, Jerry.
3 ways. How's the other way?
Me.
Are you going to hold it too?
My hand probably would be the 3rd way. All else fails, your fingers would probably stop it.
Now look what Nick's doing. See, he's holding his scribe perfectly vertical. Coming up out of the notch, paying particular attention coming up out.
Right.
And then you get a little bit off up there sometimes, which is okay. It's not as bad or critical as down below.
Seems to be doing all right.
And then he comes over this side and comes up out of the bottom. That way you don't hang up on any little bumps in the log.
I'll tell you what I found is I got to be right in the same line as you can't be over here doing it. It don't work. You be right frickin' in line.
Right, yeah, I usually do that too, just to make sure that I ain't making any pull-off errors or something.
You know.
See, his knots are looking real good. See how good that scribes? And if you look end on from where Nick's standing, you'll see how it looks just like the log below. See there? See how that log is curved up and they got the big bubble off to the left? Well, look at your notch.
Well, here's a good one, Jerry.
Scribe. And Nick is experiencing some real thrills over here with this real pretty one. Let's go take a look at it. Bumps and gnarls on it. And it'll show up real good too. He's sharpening his pencil up with a little dressing tool there with a, oh, that's his carpet knife, or whatever you call them. I'm no carpenter. Hell, I don't know what it is.
The sharp thing.
Yeah, people want me to do all this carpentry work. Heck, all I want to do is logs. I can mess up with them and make them work.
Okay, this is my short distance, so I'll go with it, correct?
Right, you're going with a short distance first.
It's there.
That way, right, see there's a difference there. See, there's about a ½ inch difference. If he goes with a short distance, that gives him latitude to mess up on his notch a bit and still not mess up, and he can come back and clean up again the next time around. The next time you dress down. Just little tricks to keep yourself from messing up a log.
There might not be as much swale in this again. Because out here it isn't so, it's more of a flat.
Right.
But as it goes in, it gets more ditched. Also, I found the little slivers screw you up real bad, so if you got slivers, get rid of them.
Right, right. So
Even
don't
in
bump
jars.
over it. And it stops you when you get starting to make a nice clean sweep, and then you hang up on it. It kind of makes you mad, don't it?
Curse words. I also don't watch my lead either. I don't watch the line I'm making.
Right, right.
You get the feel. As long as it's dragging a little bit, I don't care if it marks or not.
You're learning. And he did that notch down below
There's
too.
one.
See, that's a beautiful notch down below he did. So he's getting good. And you see, there's no double lines, no second marks or anything. He went back over, checked it over, and still he didn't make any mess ups. And this is just his first few times around, so it don't take that much to learn. Look at that line, follows the log below. See, there's he's scribing there on the other side. He's on the other side with the same reading, and he's starting out with a vertical. So you can tell it's vertical from looking at it here. See, that lower point is just following the contour of the log below. That's the pattern log down below that the metal point follows, and the pencil is going up the object log, describing what the pattern log is showing. Nothing to it. Okay. Nick has V-notched down this lower log. We can see we've got a real nice fit. Nice fit here, up over the notches. Fit down, real good tight notches. The V-notch just did a beautiful job of coming on over. And he's already V-notched this log over here. You can't even see where the difference is in height of them two logs that he V-notched over. We'll take a closer look at that in a minute. What do you think of that V-notching, Nick?
Only way to go. Yeah, I wasn't convinced until I did it. It's the only way to go.
Yeah. Okay, today.
Can't even blow smoke through them.
Okay. We've rigged the spar pole. We've put a tie back over here to a tree here. I put the cable around the tree, clamped it. It goes up to the top of the spar pole. Clamped it off around there. Then we went on over here with another guy wire over into this tree. And you can see I've wrapped it around there and got it good and secure with a half hitch. They're pretty tight. We've left the tree, the spar pole, leaning in a attitude towards the logs, which would be out that way, to the far side of the log home. We want it beyond the tilt back point so that it can't come back this way for the log ever. And I'll show you that snatch block here in a minute. Here's his lower snatch block here. And of course, you know, the cable will come from the log over there on the other side of the log home, up to the top, through that snatch block up there, down through the lower snatch block, and out to the truck. Out here, or tractor, whichever. But they've got two good, viable rigging outfits here. You never have to lift a log again or do any hard work except rolling them up. We'll show you a couple things that we did to make it easier. We made a long-handled PV so they could roll these logs up easier. They were so heavy and so big, they were hard to roll with the short-handled PVs. And I'll show you that. Let's get up on the hill and take a better look. That V-notch was really excellent. These beautiful logs just look so nice. Did so well on them. One of the guy wires right here. We got to put another clamp there. Just put it around the tree, pull her up taut. Log over the top of the center log there, it buried right at those two inconsistent logs, didn't it?
Sure enough. There was an inch and a half or 2 inches worth of step there.
You just use the same scribe reading all the way across?
Oh yeah.
All the way down, he just used the same scribe reading. And where it dropped down there, he just went and dropped down with his scribe, and they all fit right into the upper log. So see, this upper log has straightened out all the inconsistencies. Since the door is going to be cut there, you won't even notice that half log difference down below the end. I crawled up there on a big tall ladder and got that snatch block hanging. You got the two guy wires up there and the snatch block. And the cable going up through the snatch block. If you get a chance, would you stand up that long PV? It's about 2 feet longer than a standard PV handle. And they're able to move the logs a lot better with it, aren't you?
You bet.
Even though you've got what? You got too long of a, on this end here, you got too long of a nose on it, right?
The nose is too long, and this hook might even be a little long. It's made out of an old pry bar.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine used it for cutting firewood, big pine firewood.
So he's getting what he's going to do. They'll be shortening this nose, and it'll be easy to roll the logs. We're going to make a couple more, and it'll work out real well. It's helping, though. We're finding all kinds of new ways to move these heavy logs. He just finished scribing and sawing out the V-notch on that far log there. And we're getting ready to set it down. And you'll see the way that it hides this corner where we had the shallow notch. Real pretty flowers blooming here. And here. And some wild roses. And right over the top of that is the V-notch log. Now see, that V-notch, even though we still got the notch here. We don't have much meat there, but you can see this log is going to be real thick here. And the next log that goes across the top of it is really going to secure this corner down good. That V-notch being as deep as it is going to settle right down over that and tie everything in just great. They're putting in insulation. They've already insulated it. I mean, wood knifed it. This bog had a little bow to it, and we'll see that as we push it down and spike it down. And they had to use a little innovation here too, because this log was especially crooked. They wanted to get that real pretty burl there inside the house. We'll see it later when the wall goes up. But they're working it out real well. Now that other guy wire, of course, goes from here on over into that big tree. So that ties it back over there, and then on 90 degree to it is over here on the left. Use the tree. They got a travel trailer here they're going to live in. They've got a big fancy home. They're selling that, and they're going to live in this while they're, so they can be close to their work and get little jobs done in the evening and move along a little faster. And you can see by the dates on this here that they've moved right along. They're kind of stapling in so it doesn't flop out when they tip the log over. Time for Odie to have his sunglasses on today. And you can see we're going to notch right down there that much. And this amount of meat here is going to secure this corner real well. Plus the V-notch. The V-notch is strapping down over there real good. They're getting a nice tight fit on the V-notch. See, that's the burl that's going to be inside. So there was a little crook to this log that they had a heck of a time figuring out how to get her settled down enough to where they could describe it for V-notch. They had a lot of gap down there, but they worked it out. And you'll see that it's going to fit real nice.
We're ready. Alright. Hold the back spear.
Well, I guess you guys do it on your own, so I'll just videotape it.
Alright. Tell you what. You roll it and then I'll grab it.
See, there's no fighting or complaining. They all got their own little jobs that they do, and they talk things through, and they don't let any friction build up between them. They handle that sort of thing real well. You've got to do that when you work with somebody else. When things get too tense, then drop out and go do something else for a while. Now what they usually do is they use one guy with a PV lifting up and the other guy with a PV down to kind of restrain it so that it doesn't roll over real fast. They've got that sequence pretty well set up now.
Are you ready?
Okay, let's see if we get a real big mess up on film.
Okay. Hey, if anybody can do it, we can do it.
See, there's one person lifting up with PV and the other one holding it back so that it doesn't flop over too fast.
Got it? Got it.
Now they're both going to restrain it a bit and let her come down slow. Once it's down, you want to rock it in place. See, the log kind of rolled because of the bow in the log. It tends to drag to the inside of the log home because of the bow. But once they force it on over with a pinch bar, they'll be in good shape.
That top's got him. Yeah, about this way of center.
Yeah, you just have to keep on going. She'll get there. And they're going to have a little bit of gap there. We're going to rock it back and forth a bit until she finally settles into her final seating spot. And then we're going to spike it down. And the log was a little bit crooked, so we'll have to spike down that far end. Now see, I'll just keep rocking it around until it settles into its good scribe's position, and they'll be okay.
Watch this tight. Here.
I think pretty damn close, just right where it's at.
And what they'll do is use a spike with a helix spike, probably with a washer on it. That'll help get a better suck down on that corner. They only got about a 3-inch wide V-notch at that end, but that's good if you can just get the...
Push down.
See, well, see, I'm tight here, but it'll press through on the other.
I'm tight on this end. I think the baby's born, Jerry.
Huh?
I think the baby's born.
Well, if you put about 3 spikes in this thing, this corner, one in about 6 feet or 8 feet, and another one about 30 feet, then when you bring your next log in, just save, you know, that'll hold the log in position. And you bring in your next front log, let it rest on that end. That weight will just squash that thing right down where you want, and then it'll really suck it down with a spike.
That works for me.
A little pinch back here, I think would help too.
But they worked their way
Well,
through
it's
it.
perfect on this side right from here, Nick.
And they went and got that first log over there just perfect. It fell down just beautiful. But they're finding out, you know, each log is individual. Each one you have to figure out new things to go with. And so it isn't all easy and gravy. There's things you gotta learn to live with or learn to work with, one or the other.
This is perfect on this end.
Is she coming in a bit?
Yeah, no.
They're wobbling it into place, trying to get it to find its good seating spot, the best seating spot.
Now what's the matter with that? Do this over here.
Pretty good, don't they? The V-notch fitting tight down the center log. You can see that drop there. The V-notch just went and hid that right over and made everything meld together.
Yeah, I think we just gotta put some weight.
I think let's twist it back so it's tight on this side. First, I guess it made a difference.
In here, there could be the start of the stairs. And here you can see notch down. The V-notch is fitting nice and tight. Real nice and tight. And down there you'll see your drop. When you look down this log, you won't notice anymore because, see, the top log here is hiding and burying all your mistakes down here. It's the same way with any curvy log that you put up here. It's going to hide the curve and the garbage in the one below. Your scribe is taking care of all those inconsistencies. And nice notch. We get a couple more heavy logs on here. It'll even press these down even tighter yet. You can see what they did at the end there. We're just going to let these ends run random length. They won't ever make a curve or anything. It'll be a nice bit. Nice tight V-notch. They all won't turn out like that, but they're coming pretty close. They're doing a pretty good job of getting them close to that.
Well, spiked it in anyway. Maybe a rebar and a zero.
Me, that's on film. Look at the drill. Spike or rebar?
Driving the spikes in. Sucking her down.
I don't think my spike will reach through the log.
Door.
Right here. Yeah.
So either side of that door, there's a bunch of rebar there. There's there.
One in front of this barrel, probably.
So they got the corner and put a rebar there. A couple more rebars in here. About every 10 feet. They're going to pre-drill this
Should be
down about
there.
a couple inches and drive their rebar through. Then, when we get the weight of the next log on there, it'll squeeze up this here. Squeeze this in real tight. You saw me do that in the first movie I made, and I sucked it down. But that was due to the real crooked log. But it'll take care of itself. You'll see, these things are going to hide. Everything's going to hide. Everything's going to suck right in. There's nothing to get scared about. Just do it.
Well, see it over there, son.
Do you remember in that first movie, Butch, when, remember that first round? I had to do that there, what you're doing to this corner over here?
Yeah,
That first half log I went over?
yeah,
Remember, I had to spring it down too.
that's true. I remember now.
Yeah,
I knew there was a reason why we did that.
yeah,
There has been a reason.
yeah. We learned to work with just about anything. And there's a snatch block. The cable's coming out of it. This here is the guy wire going off the tree behind me. This is the guy wire going over there. We left the pole leaning a little bit in this attitude. So when the log pulls on it, that your log will be hanging on this side of it and not causing the pole to fall back into the guy wires. And down at the bottom, if we can see it. Right there is our snatch block. We'll probably move this on down to the base of that spark pole and then run the cable on out one of the ventilation holes. Looking good though, looking good. Putting through the log. We'll drive it in with a sledgehammer and we'll take a look at Nick drilling. He's going to pilot drill a hole through with that first, that bit. Pilot drill it about halfway through the slogger a little better and then drive the rebar down through.
Together.
Oh, you can use spike?
There's
Yeah,
some
spike.
Helix spikes. What are you going to use?
I don't think we can use this till we fix it, Nick.
Log dog.
We can?
Can't.
We can't use it?
Little chainsaw for dressing up notches.
No, it's broken.
Wood knife. Broom. You need all those little things.
And loop then.
Knives. Sledgehammers. Just little tools that you need here and there.
That gym pole looks much better.
Get there and get to work. That's Odie. Look at these dogs. Look at them. Laying around, useless, dead weight. They're all laying here sleeping. You guys didn't teach them much.
We're going to harness them up here in a minute and they're going to drag in another log.
Oh.
Hang around.
Oh, that's why they're so tired from blowing up them 3 last week, huh? Fix an electrical cord on the drill. Now here is the block up here. Snatch block. You can see it pretty good now that the sun's not in our way. Cable comes from the bottom of from a log out here on the bank. Right down in here. The log will come from, the cable will come from the log that's on the bank here. Up to the top of the spar pole. Down to the bottom. And we can't see that block there, but there's a block there at the base of that spar pole. And it goes, the cable goes through that block and then on out to the truck, which is over on that side of the log home. Over in there. Or they have the outfit. They have another outfit in this big tree here. At the top of this spar pole, going to the left, you'll see a guy wire. There's a pole out there, tree, and the other one going out this direction, over just above the snatch block in that big tree there. Can't see it right now. Give it a little stability. Second round up. They rough notched it down to the log below it. You can see there's about an inch gap in there. Now just go ahead and dry it out. Balloons from the birthday party are popping. The heat's getting to them. They had the most notch over there, so they put the biggest log over there, I think. It looks like it. Nice straight log. Looks real good. They roll it in position until they got it parallel. Curves going in and out of the wall and notched it down. Scribed it and then notched it down. This one over here, we'll take a look at it. They got it held in place by their log dogs. Down here, the log's a little short, so it looks like we're going to cut at the door and move that end section on out over this here. We're going to move this, cut this here, and move it on out so it's right directly over the top of this. Some real pretty notches. Make sure it's over the log below. Make sure it's centered where you want it. It curves to the inside and outside. Now just bow it out to the outside a little bit. They're going to adjust it into position a little bit more. It'll be hidden in with the V-notch. Then, after you got it set in position like this and over the log below, then you'll go ahead and scribe for the V-notch. We'll watch him do that. Let's take a look at the other one again, lengthways. Oh yeah, I'll be here. I didn't miss out on the sausage McMuffins though. I scarfed them right up. I knew I didn't have breakfast for a reason this morning. And it's gonna have to be changed a little bit.
What do you got this log over on this front wall? Is that dandy or what?
Yeah, that's a nice one. A real nice log. You'll be able to scribe nice on that. Eric.
Well, if that don't work, go the other direction.
That's what I do. I just go back and forth real fast and just keep moving along. You're getting a lot better fits than I do though, because you're taking a little more time and care at it.
Well, I'm being about as careful as I can be. But really, this is probably the easiest part, and it probably makes it look the best. These V-notches. It's a fairly straight log, anyways. That notch probably just go over. Losing my pencil lead.
What are you going with on this, about 1.5 inches?
Yeah. Yeah, my scribe's tight, it's 1.5 inches.
Yeah, when you go over your saddles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The first initial's all right because you're so wide, but then when you fine tune it to 1.5 inches, that's right. You can turn it sideways and just keep it up and down. And there's ways around
Yeah,
it.
yeah. As long as you're real careful when you just watch with your eyeball, make sure she's vertical.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. Like if I was holding this vertical, these wouldn't be.
In line, right.
If that's horizontal, these wouldn't be. So I lean it down when I'm doing my, because that way this isn't in my way. So I just kind of lean it down, get an eyeball about where it's at. It pretty much does it. The pitch is what balls up on my lead.
Yeah. I don't know what I can say except just keep using pencils.
Yeah.
Keep trimming them. See, the scribe goes away to nothing, right down at the pinch area. You're just ferrying it in by hand there. That's what I do too.
Yeah. I gotta
Just make sure I get enough meat out of it so it doesn't pinch there when it comes down.
It's almost vertical and it scoops in, so I just gotta use my red pencil for fine touches. So I know I just gotta.
Oh yeah, good idea.
And then also when after it's notched and we roll it back, and there's any little things that's binding up on it, use this little pencil. The red sticks out. So far. Yeah.
Except for your V-notch, you always want to make sure that your scribe is wider than the widest gap, which is that gap right there. That way, make sure you got a V over that area also.
But I don't know what. For instance, I come across here, and I come to here. If I pretend like this was full through there.
No, go ahead and follow it down in.
Yeah.
Just follow it right in. Yeah, any dips are just like concaves because the top log, see, will fill that area down below. Just like the bump down below will fill a hole you put in the top. It works both ways. Concave, convex. See, it's taking care of the inconsistencies of both logs.
Yeah, we have to do a cove there.
You're getting rid of both the inconsistencies of both logs in one log.
Why?
Basket bugger balloons scare me.
Yeah, those balloons, they keep popping because of the heat.
Get him, Baron.
Where's your ball, Barry? Where's your ball? Where's your ball?
That was tough notching that initial notch down, huh?
Yeah, it was. It's awful hard. Guy's got to do what a guy's got to do.
We had a little birthday party this morning for Nick's son, Craig.
Mom, are you rolling? Are you rolling?
Yeah.
My mom didn't want the V to be exposed on these ends of these butts. All the butts are short and the tops are going to be long. She didn't want the V exposed for one reason or another. She didn't like the looks of it. So what we're going to do is V-notch everything, except when we get to this end, I'll run out. I got my scribe set for my V. I'll run it out on both sides, and then I'm coming and basically saddle notching the butt into this. Should start about where my V, close enough.
Right.
Then I'll V, or I'll saddle this. And then when the V comes out of it, I'll stop it back in here and then just cope that.
To the log below.
Yeah, the 4, 5, 6 inches. So when it sits down, people think that it's, or it gives an appearance of being form fit all the way through.
You know, I've seen some professional companies say that they Swedish cope, and that's the only thing they do is Swedish cope on the ends.
Yeah.
But V-notch down the rest of the middle.
If you had to cope the whole thing, big you got a business.
And they'll fill that with stuff there, good stuff. They'll put foam in there to fill that. So
Yeah, we'll get rid of
bugs and
that.
stuff can't get in there.
That's bug food.
But since this area's going to be dry, there's going to be no problem with it rotting out because it's gone as far as it's going to go.
All right, one more side and start cutting again. Look at the balloons popping in there.
See, he's just making sure that he keeps his scribe vertical and then brings his scribe out to the side like this and goes on up because his spin nut for the pencil gets in the way. It's clamp nut. We'll make a modification of this later. But he's showing how you can get away with some things. He's had enough practice now that he knows what he can do and still keep his notch looking good and the pattern looking good.
This is the hard part, where your knees are.
Oh yeah, after you get up about 2 rounds, 3 rounds high, then it's really fun. You just wander along there real fast, just walk right along as fast as you can walk and you can do it. See if I can see this guy under there. You got such heavy logs here though, usually it'll mash down in a lot of them areas and make them look a lot better than what you described them.
Right.
What he's doing is just filling in a little bit with his pencil where he described it, he didn't make a good mark.
Flop a pitch.
See that scribe, if you don't hold it level, see he wasn't holding it level down below, he was kind of tilted down. If you do that, you'll come out about an 1/8 inch difference on your line, but if you keep it tilted down like that on both sides, then the line will just be displaced the same amount on both sides. So your V-notch will still be describing what the contours are. So it's just a feel you got to get. You know what you're doing, what's going to happen when you do it. When you first start off, you might want to just keep your scribe flat and level and parallel and everything and plumb until you get used to knowing what's happening, what it's doing. But even if you don't pay particular attention, it still comes out good. It still looks good, don't it, Nick?
Yes, it does. Beautiful. Really, it is. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's almost artistic. Take a big old ugly looking log and make it look like it's growing out of another one. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's what happens too.
You break your lead.
Scribe V-notch. See the pencil lines heading on up, down. All the way down. Looking a little odd, but the contours of the log above and the log below all wrapped into one scribe. Off in this direction, so it's going down the other end. It's on this way. Sometimes the sunlight gets in the way of what you're doing. Watch the line. Okay, here we have the V-notch, all sliced out. And we have the notches cleaned up. Let's take a look down here at the, we just follow the line down, cleaned up down inside. Clean up as much garbage as you can alongside close to this, the scribe mark. And down here, you can see he kind of coped the end there. And here, well, heavy duty wood life that right where that decayed part is. Okay, let's go take a look at these other notches. A notch here. And one at the far end. And let's see what it looks like now. This took us about a half an hour to clean the V-notch and dress up these saddles. Is flop down, and we got a few bumping spots here and there, but she's sitting pretty tight. Mostly that's all shadow in there. Nick's marking right where all the little bump spots are. Just like a detective, you go along with a hacksaw blade or a knife and feel where she's hitting hard, and then you dust those spots down with your chainsaw when you roll it back up. But even so, a lot of people would probably accept this log just like it is right now. Let's go outside and take a look. Flop right there in that corner when I notched it out. But you can see the end here. It's right down over. See, it's a pretty tight fit.
I don't think
It'll come down a little bit more than that, though. We'll have it fitting a little tighter than that. That end down there, we had notch problems down there. Let's go show you the pinch spots there. There and there. Not too bad for a rough fit so far. As soon as we get it trimmed down, it'll look better. Okay, there's one tight spot there. And the rest of this side's okay. There. See that red ink there? The arrow. Okay, come out there a bit. And right there. That knot. And we'll have her. And she'll suck down real nice and tight. Let's see that. Let's take a look at that.
It's a fire, Craig, now. It's fire.
That sure looks good, Jerry.
Mom, will you guys maybe want to find out?
Looks pretty good. Way down. The second notch.
Yeah.
And let's go inside and take a look.
What say you, buddy?
Pretty cool.
And this is inside. And not bad. A pretty nice tight fit all the way down. Looks real good. Go down there and take a closer look at that. There's some people inside.
Making hamburgers.
Sharon and Tammy making hamburgers at the, guess what you'd call this.
See, 1993 log home reunion, or?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah, log home reunion.
I'm sorry.
Most people are outside. There's an old boy over there playing with the cats.
Oh, I think he's gonna take that cat
One
home.
cat is going out.
It is, huh?
Yeah.
And we've got some people outside. Lisa. And Craig. Which one's Craig?
This is
Jesse. Hi, Jesse. Did you get to drive the Kubota today? Did you like it? I forgot your name already?
Angie.
Angie. Okay, Angie. And
Skylar.
Skylar. And well, I'll tell you, I'm gonna be a
Jessica and Jennifer.
Jessica and Jennifer.
Katie.
Hi, Jessica and Jessica and Jennifer. And
And Katie and Bobby.
Bobby. Jim. Okay. Bob. Bachelor. Filling out. Kathy.
Can I sit with you, Carter?
And Kyler, I think his name. Hey, Kathy. Kathy. What's your son's name? Huh? Colton. Okay, Colton. Come on, Jeanette. Norm. Carolyn. I got Jesse on there for running the Kubota.
Oh, all right.
And Brian's got the cook duties. I got one baby over there in the car chair. What his name is. Mom and Dad. Nick. There's Nick.
Hello.
Tour of homes, huh?
Yeah, this is it. Open house.
All right, an open house. See all the way through one side and out the other. Dad, enjoying food and shortage of rain. He probably misses that rain. There's a whole bunch of kids down over the bank. Seeing how real mountain country people live, right? So you wonder who this weirdo is that's hiding out up here in the brush. There goes Tammy and Sharon out the front door. It's open house, so you can see right on through.
You're Mike's sister? What's your name? Kathy. Hello. I think you look familiar, but I don't know where it's.
There's Sharon. Sharon's coming out with the more burger buns. I mean, more burgers. Tammy keeping close track of her mother. Okay, we can let them all relax now. They probably got indigestion now. Okay, we got a strap around the next long log you're going to bring over on the wall. It's a long log for the long wall. I just towed it up with the truck. The log will skid up that pole there on the wall. The rigging goes on up to the spar pole right there. Down through the base, underneath the cabin, and out to the back of the truck. We're moving right along. We got 4.5 rounds on the short walls, 4 rounds on the long walls. So we're going for the 5th round on the long walls. You the signal man, Nick?
Well, yeah. Not that it does any good.
And you take it gentle and slow, and it'll go. Oh, went down in the hole. No, we didn't get up there high enough, did we, Nick?
Not quite.
It's got some good angle there, though. hog will now hit the butt end sticking out from the wall. So we're gonna have to rearrange it. He's got the tractor in neutral, so it'll roll backwards. Okay, you can almost get off of it, Terry.
We can hold it there. I'm gonna have to get loose.
Okay, hang on to it right there for him. Looks like it's pretty tight.
I can do it from here, I think. I'm hyperextended. I can't go any
Well,
higher.
your chain's too tight right now.
I think he can drop off of it and let her hold it now.
Yeah. Just the chain's tighter than that.
Oh. He can't come down?
Now the bar's hitting the log. You can back up. Back up and see what happens. There you go. Right in there.
The chain looked like it almost loosened.
You hold it right there, Mo. Take a bar and hit that chain on the backside. It might.
Oh yeah, slip it down the log. Yeah, well, that's
We'll just lift it up with
all right.
There's mine. Doing good. Keep going. Okay. Back off of that and see if it'll stay. Easy.
Tractor?
No, I was just going to rehook further back and drag it up over that second wall.
There you go. Pretty good rig, man, there.
Yeah, we're good. That's good.
See, the way this is set up, everybody's out of the way, not going to get hurt. Just put a block in to keep it from rolling.
Good job, Bob.
You take instructions well, Sharon.
Thank you.
Put your, Nick. Go around as far as you can, maybe another half a turn. That way it'll roll it this way a bit and keep it more off to this side of the wall.
Now do what?
Just roll your that right on around. Just keep going on around with that. There. Now what it'll do is kind of roll it, kick it this way, and it'll keep it another 6 inches or so this way. Every little bit helps.
Well, that's a big log. They just grow when you get them up here.
What a man, what a man. You can do it all, Nick.
Yep.
And you prefer using this smaller gin pole to that big one over there, huh?
Just because it's got such a high pull on it, it helps. We use that fir tree quite a bit, especially for that end short log.
Yeah.
We use that fir tree almost exclusively for that.
This was nice about that one in the middle of the cabin though. You can spin the logs around or work either side. I've used it twice before on different log homes and I really like it.
Yeah, it's ruined.
See, if you used any other kind of rigging, that old back of that truck would lift right off the ground with all that weight. You wouldn't get any traction to pull them on there.
Hope we hit that center wall before the balance point comes down. Nice and easy.
Okay, gin pole is taking a lean and it's holding on it.
Oh,
and there goes the
okay.
log. She could probably go.
More.
Yeah. Because you got that, see that rope? See, it keeps it pulling away from that pole, see?
Yeah, looks good. A little more.
You'd probably almost take her right on up there, huh?
We could go till it hits our pole anyway.
You'd almost be there, yeah.
Oh, Bart, stop. We don't get our thing hooked up underneath. We
Oh,
can go
that's
that
right,
far
yeah.
now. Oh, I just want to get our wrap underneath between the two logs. We couldn't get it unhooked.
This here tree back here is taking a little strain from the guy wire.
Probably come across.
But she's doing okay.
You know,
It's tilting a little bit, but not
Okay,
much.
we can certainly do
it
that.
seems like we still got the balance points back there yet.
Why don't you slide it back a couple feet and we'll pull it again? Or you want to just pull it where it's at?
I was afraid we'd get it at the balance point, then we'll get it on the floor.
Apparently it's going on this side.
I got this 4x6 over here next.
Oh. Was it long enough?
Well, if I set it on that, whatchdog a little bit, that stump.
Well, I was going to put this roller across the walls, or is that top too, or that butt too low?
See if that, if they didn't have that snatch block at the end, bottom of that gin pole down underneath the foundation, the weight of that log would lift the back of the truck right off the ground and wouldn't be able to pull it on there. But since that rigging is set up the way it is, it makes it easy to drive off with the truck and pull it on. It keeps the, I'll go show you that. See, that cape comes right out of there by the dog. And it's on the snatch block that's on the bottom of that gin pole. It comes out here to the back of the truck. And it keeps the tension pulling down on the tailgate, which gives you more traction on your back tires.
Didn't have any problem lifting it there. Lifting the whole log.
The small tops and the big butts, they meld real nice down at the other end.
That's worked for us.
We're going to go a little bit more where it's at, forward.
Mix, I think if you just redo your strap, you should get it.
Yeah, why don't you grab her a little bit longer.
Back, we're spot straight up, okay?
On the center back.
Okay. Yeah, everybody get
Whoa.
Tighten it up. Tighten it up.
I guess maybe you can't.
Let's take it with the tractor now. It'll come with the tractor. Okay.
Just have her get it straight up in the air and then roll that pole under there.
Yeah, that'd work. That'll...
Okay, we're gonna lift it up.
I'm going to be out of there. This lever's about like that. We can pull it with the tractor. As long as she's got tension on it.
Okay.
Well, I guess she doesn't have tension on it.
You could go straight to the first flanker too.
Well, that's true.
But with the tractor.
Not at all.
Like that?
Yeah, exactly.
I think your cable's coming up tight from your truck.
It's pretty close anyway. Hit it one more time. That's good.
All right, now it has to be as rolled into place.
There we go, run it. Push that top over.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with these big rocks so we don't go too far beyond, because then you have to fight them back into the other position. You do real well with this. They're going to take the tractor down at the far end there, and push that end over to this wall over here. See, they planned it all out ahead. They brought the big butt of the log up the hill first, up to the top of the hill. Then rigged it, pole underneath it, pulled it over towards the log home, up on top, and brought it on all the way over. See, they pre-planned all the way which way they wanted the big end and where it goes on the log wall. You just can't get excited or move too fast. Something goes wrong, stop, change it, get it a little better.
Work pay for itself.
Yeah, you wouldn't want it to roll off the wall with all your effort. Tying it back so that this end doesn't move when the other end starts swiveling. A lot of smoke from the fire. Remember all that smoke in my other movie?
What's that?
I always had smoke from my fire in my other movie too.
Did you? It's almost July, there's no need for a fire.
Yeah.
Supposed to be.
Gotta get rid of all that sawdust though.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
Hard to believe they come this far in such a short time.
Alright.
About what?
This vlog's about wood. Shouldn't be a problem.
Doesn't look like it. Oh, Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just wondering if you wanted to kick that. I guess that pole will go out from underneath it later.
Yeah.
The pole out of the way. Just getting out of the way so they can drive the tractor in there. All kinds of little things you can do with that tractor.
That's good.
We're trying to push it that way.
Okay, so you got to evenly down the wall.
Yeah, I can roll it now.
Now I can roll it right on out to the outer edge.
The butt's out at least that
So
far.
get it out in line. You don't want to get it too far down on that end because then as it rolls, with this being the larger end, then more of this big end will come out to the left. You don't want that. They've got it pretty well figured where they want it, so they just keep moving it over. But you see the logistics of it. He'll get 2 logs up today, and then he'll notch them, scribe and notch them today, later today, and tomorrow. And they'll put up the other 3 logs. Just keep on going up. That's all it is. Once you get that base round set, you just keep on going up. That's a reasonably straight log, huh? Hey! We get that log right there. This is the front log that's going on. Chain it there. Right back.
Coming. That's good.
Does that give it a little lift there, Jerry? Keeps nose from sticking to the ground. When it starts pulling, it lifts it up off the ground and keeps it from nosing into the dirt. It's easy to pull. We're all going up there, getting pretty high for just a couple months' work. Looking down over the rodeo ground. Watch your horses every day. Knots off close. Pick up dirt on the way up. Make it easier to slide across the wall. Get rid of all the knots that will interfere or pick up dirt. Work the truck has to do by having it lift up off the ground like that.
No.
See that lifting it up off the ground there? That saves the truck from doing half the work.
Yeah, it does. Puts a lot of weight on it.
Plus gives you better traction.
Nobody knows.
I'm going to pull it up the right hill the right amount of distance so that it'll be right in line with pulling it onto the wall.